I meant to add her and I didn't. But yeah, I'll have to
Yeah,
do
I
that.
think she's called Punk Knit.
Oh, really? Punk
Yeah,
knit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I shared it with everybody. I haven't
yeah.
done
Yeah.
it myself yet. Here,
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
just
think
do
I
that.
went on
Oops.
her Instagram yet. I have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm just
No.
gonna do it while I'm
Well,
thinking of it, because otherwise I'll forget.
Cool.
But I just thought, that good for her, you
Yeah.
know.
Punk.
Well, she's got a niche. She could do it for all these different shows. She'd be great.
And then I wanted to tell you guys.
Hmm.
So, uh, the author, what's her name? Diana
Diana. Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Sam, they met up when he was in
in
Arizona.
Arizona.
Right at
And
that
I think
bookstore.
Katie showed us that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he signed some books
Mm-hmm.
along with Diana.
Right.
So I called to see how much one of the books was. And it was $70 for a signed book from Sam.
Well,
Wow.
that's because
Was
you're
that
paying
the
for the book
Waypoint?
and the signature.
Was that the Waypoints book? The
No,
way.
it was one of the Outlander books.
Mm.
But I was just kind of shocked because I have bought Laurel Hamilton books before, and Laurel Hamilton is big in the thriller type, and I've
Mhm.
never ever paid that much for a book.
Hmm.
I was shocked.
But
I'm
that's the
surprised it
difference
wasn't a
between.
Waypoints book.
Yeah, I would have
So
thought
you
so
did.
too. But
Yeah.
writers don't get as, I don't know, as much notoriety as actors, so actors charge more for their autographs.
Yeah, they
I
do. True.
guess.
And then the
Yeah.
bigger the actor, the more they can ask for.
Ask for.
I
Yeah.
just
And
wonder.
I'm thinking
I
that's
just wonder
probably
if
wasn't that
Sam knows.
it's discretion of the bookstore how much they charge for the book.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
wonder if
the,
Sam
Yes.
knows
Yeah,
how
that's the
much they're
bookstore.
How much
charging.
they're asking. Yes.
Because I'm sure he's not getting the money from the signature. You know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
all. That's all. He's
Yeah.
getting probably some of it, but that's at the
You think
discretion of the
so, Katie?
bookstore.
That's a lot of money.
Seriously?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure part of it goes to their agent and whatnot, but that's their cash. That's what they're doing separately. I mean, maybe I'm just assuming, but I've gone and gotten enough autographs and seen that the prices vary depending on what kind of, how well known the actor is, or
Yep, that's true.
what they produce, whether it's art or if they're actors or if they're singers, or it's going to vary. I'm sure that Taylor Swift probably asks for more for her autograph if she was selling them than Sam does, because he's more.
I guess I'm just shocked. I didn't realize because, I mean, Sam, he signs, autographs all the time for free,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And then for him to sign the books, and then for the bookstore to sell it at $70, I just thought it was just shocking.
Yeah, it
Well,
depends on where you get them if you're lucky. I mean, I've got, like I said, some autographs. I'll wait until a different event because I know that they'll charge less at a smaller event than at a big event or something
Yeah.
like that. And others, you get some actors that they'll charge $40 or $50 wherever they are. It doesn't matter. Some of them charge $120. It doesn't matter where they are. So
Yeah.
it
And
really
same for the
depends. It
photos. I
varies.
mean, it's not like
yeah.
they're not. Their photos the same thing. They
Yeah.
go to these
Yeah.
events and get photos, and it costs you money for the photo because that's
Yep.
part of the job. I mean, that's like their business. They're the business, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the book signing and the photos are the business. That's part of his
It's
business.
the same thing with sports.
Yeah, same thing.
My,
Yeah.
my grandson and my son went to get Saquon Barkley's autograph at a show, and he was charging $350.
That's
For his-
ridiculous.
Yeah,
hmm
See,
exactly.
that's
Mhm.
ridiculous to me.
And if people will pay it, they'll charge it.
Well,
I'm
yeah, people pay it,
shocked.
they'll charge it. Yep.
Yes, definitely.
I think
Well,
that's-
ladies, are we just about
Oh, yeah.
ready to go?
Yep,
we're
let's
we're
do it.
actually live. We were
Yeah.
having a really nice conversation.
Hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
I think so many
We always
people
have
miss
nice
the best part of
conversations.
these chats is before
I
we
know,
go
in the
live
beginning.
because we talk about some great stuff.
I
Um,
know, we do.
You're
And it's like we know each other too,
well,
because we see each
yeah,
other.
Well,
we
we've been
get to know
chatting
each
for a
other
while
pretty
now. We
well
know
on
each
here.
other.
Yeah. I'm just going to do my quick announcements here. We are chatting about Outlander season 3 of our first season 1, episode 3, The Way Out. I want to make one really quick announcement before we get going. That is that my brain has been foggy between being sick and worrying about my dad, and I erased my list of who was going to do which episodes. So, if you have a preference on an episode and you already asked for it, resend it unless you asked for 15 and 16 because it was the same people for both, I believe. And so and those were the only two that survived my accidental erasing of everything.
That was me, I think.
Well, I kind of was drafted for this one. I was on last week, and I didn't want to hog everything, you know.
No,
so I
you're.
don't think I'd be on for this week, but I was, so I thought I'm gonna show, you know.
I literally
didn't
went
know
to
it's
go
gonna
get
be
my
on.
list and send out the emails, and all I had was 15 and 16, and I'm going, what did I do? I don't know how I did it. I don't know what I did. At any rate, but I put you guys on because I know Jackie said she was available anytime. I know Jan said she was available anytime. And I know
Yeah.
Diane had expressed that she'd like to fill in whenever I needed to fill in. So
Yeah.
Yes,
that's what I did.
Hey, just a question. What was it on a document that you got rid of?
No, it wasn't on a document. I use here, hold on, I'm trying to check.
Because
It's
there's
not up
ways.
right now.
There's
No,
ways. If it's a spreadsheet, I can bring it back up to you.
I use OneNote so that I can
Oh.
keep multiple things open about multiple shows and
Yeah,
multiple
I don't know.
projects
I don't
at all
know.
times.
I don't know how to do any of that on
It,
OneNote.
it works
Yeah, I
the
don't
way any office does. You back it up until you retrieve it, but I'd
Yeah.
close the program and open it so it wouldn't back up to whenever I messed it up. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
Okay.
But I just want to let anybody know. Guess what? Second chance. Let me know which one you want to watch because I'm your host and I'm a human being and I made a mistake. I just don't know what I did. So
Yep, I hear you. We've all done it.
I do want to do a shout out real quick to Linda Camiso. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. Hello. And it looks like Cynthia is joining us. And I will probably read more of this later just because we got to get started. We are almost 15 minutes in. And so where should we start? We could start at the beginning. Don't even
Right
have
at
a
the
replay
beginning.
going right
I
now.
have it rolling. I
We
have it rolling.
Well, why don't you lead us in then, Jackie?
Well, in the very
Better make it
beginning,
choo choo sound. Choo choo.
exactly. She's on the train going away from
Yeah.
Frank. I always found that very interesting. The people don't really care for Frank, and I just actually really enjoyed the on-screen Frank. I always felt sorry for the on-screen Frank.
No.
I did. Now the book Frank I did not, because he's
Yeah.
different in the book. He's not as nice in the book, and more brass in the book, and they kind of softened him on the program.
I completely agree.
Does that make? I mean, do you agree with
I
that, Katie?
understand.
And I
Yes.
think that's why. And Robert Moore even mentioned that they did that on purpose so people would have feelings for Frank. Otherwise, they wouldn't, because if they did it like the book, no one would care what happened to Frank.
No. Like,
They wouldn't.
run away, stay there. Why are you going
Right.
back, you crazy woman?
Right. They wouldn't have any reason why they'd think that she'd want to come back to the man. But like in this very beginning, it was very loving. I'm going to miss you, and the whole thing. So you kind of get the feeling that they were in love with each other, right?
Yeah,
And she
very
was
much.
leaving to be on the front line as a nurse. So I guess I kind of found that part
I still say that the love that she had for Frank doesn't compare, and she knows it when she gets back, to what she has for Jamie. He
Yeah.
was kind of
Of course.
a placeholder without
Yeah.
not being in a mean way, but
Yeah.
to get her life started, that thing she wanted
Yeah, I
to
agree.
do.
Oh, I
think
agree.
I think it I think what was interesting to me this scene, Jackie, is that they're walking down the, I don't know what you would call it, that plank
platform.
area.
The platform.
The platform.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I was listening to them talk,
Mhm.
but I was expecting him to get on the train
Well, yeah.
and her to be standing there and saying goodbye.
Right.
So I think Diana I really loved it because Diana twisted it
Yeah,
around
way
the
around.
opposite way
Yeah.
that we are used to seeing. You know, you're seeing the woman with her
Waiting.
hand up in the air, goodbye.
Exactly.
You know?
And they mention that in that scene, actually. She goes, "Welcome to the 20th century."
Yeah.
Usually he
Yeah,
mentions
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it's me, I should be me getting on the train and not you, he says. And she goes, "Welcome to the 20th century."
Yes.
Yep, exactly that.
Yeah,
It does. But I love that scene. I
it
thought
is.
that
It's
was
good.
great.
It's a good scene. And I agree with you, Katie. I mean, the love is different. I mean, there's all different types of love.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that she didn't love Frank. It was just different, a different love,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Compared to Jamie. So,
Yeah,
and
He was
I
more
just
I agree
comfortable.
about that.
yeah, I just get the